and we call this Where We Deviate, right?
Yes, that's what I named it.
Yeah.
I don't know why though. Well, yeah. I know why I named it. It was like, where did I get that from though?
I don't know.
Anyways.
That's what it's called now.
Yes.
Okay. Hello everybody, I'm Anna.
And I'm Michelle.
And we're the two mythical unicorns. And today we're talking about writing.
Yes.
And how we have different approaches. we have similar thoughts on many things.
Yes.
Which show in these videos sometimes. But these Where We Deviate videos focus on where we have very different opinions or approaches or where we deviate.
Simply put.
And the first talking point we have is inspiration.
Right. Where do you get your inspiration from, would you say? Generally speaking.
Generally, I get it from dreams a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And like the ideas often come from dreams.
Right.
But the motivation to write often comes from music or other stories. Like
Yeah.
if I'm reading or watching a really good show or something like that. Dreams, that's where most of my ideas come from.
So yourself, technically, because that's your subconscious.
Yeah.
That's funny.
My sleeping self is
Yes.
full of ideas. I get certain parts from books, like if I read something and then I feel like if I was the one writing this, it would take this direction now. And then it doesn't. And then I sort of want to write that thing that I was inspired to, that I came up with in my mind. And then I sort of twist it to make it fit in the story that I already have.
Right.
So just adapt it a bit.
Where does my inspiration go? I think the main one, and this is going to sound ridiculous, is language. Because as you'll notice when we continue to talk about this, is that I'm very focused on how something is expressed. So very much, like I guess technically I get most information, like inspiration from like other books.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not like that's why I say language, because it's like, it's not like, oh, I would like to write that. It's not like, I'll take that.
I like that word.
It's like, I get inspired by how other people write and how they express themselves. So it's not like plagiarism. It's not about like copying what they did. It's more like, oh, that's a different way of saying that.
Yeah.
How other people write is where most of the time I get my inspiration from, I'd say, most likely.
Should we do the next talking point?
Yeah, which is how.
How we write. And the first part of this is like our styles. Like how is the text that we produce. And then you might notice that the playing with words is not my thing. I like to tell stories.
Yes.
And that is why I write.
Yes.
And that is not what you write.
Well, no, I guess that has changed over the years, because I think it was kind of different when we first met.
Yeah.
When I was much more focused on story and well, I think I've always been kind of character driven.
Yeah.
And I think that has to do with the fact that I've never been, I've always really liked fantasy, but I've never been on your level.
It's a great level.
Yes.
I really enjoy it.
It's a very high level. But I wouldn't say that's the only reason why you like story, but that is a particularly big part of fantasy in general.
Yeah.
Is the story and the world building and things like that, which you are particularly good at, I would say, from what I've written of yours.
Yeah.
I know you wouldn't be like, yes, I am.
It's like, I like to tell a story.
Yes.
And of course the characters are a big part of that.
Yeah.
But I do not enjoy writing like 3 pages of just inner thoughts and just character describing. Like, I like it when things happen.
You like action.
Yeah.
And I'm much more focused on, well, that's the thing. It's not necessarily that I'm only focused on how it's written. It's more like I get a passage in my head.
Yeah.
And that's the only way I can describe it. It pops up. It's like one sentence and it's like, oof.
And it's really like, oh, okay, but when do I get the rest? This is 2 really good sentences. What happens now?
What is this? And then I never finish.
And no one knows what it is.
Not even me! And I wrote it.
You have the problem that you get like 1 or 2 sentences and they are great. I have this story and it starts out with like a scene or an emotion that I know that this is gonna bring out, and then all of a sudden I have a freaking trilogy.
Yeah.
And I don't know how it happened. My story just
Took off.
expands. And it's like, okay, well, this happened. But this happened because this happened, and that makes this happen. And I have to tell all of this, because...
Otherwise it makes no sense.
yeah, I guess that brings us to length.
Which, yeah, we also deviate quite a bit on. Well, first of all, there's very few things that I've actually finished writing. Like, let's start there. There's very, very few things that I've actually, like, followed through on. And the few things that I have done is, what are they called in English?
No short stories.
Short stories. And they were mostly when we were about, what, 18? 19 possibly?
Yeah.
So it's been 9 years. I'm fairly certain I haven't finished anything since we graduated, like, school.
And like I said, mine just expand. I have a really big problem of having many ideas. And I think I'm just gonna write like a short story. Just like 20 pages. And then I'll have the idea out of my head, it will be done, and then it's a freaking trilogy with 150 words, 150,000 words per book.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
What
this was 3 years of my life. On to the next idea. I write really long stuff.
Yes.
You write really short stuff.
Yes, I do.
Well, 2 sentences can be the short story. If you wanted to. But it's a really short story.
Maybe possibly closer to a poem in that regard.
Yeah.
But sure.
So you write poems now.
Sure. No.
we were gonna talk about genre as well.
Yes.
And I've tried a few different genres. I've tried writing like YA romance.
Yeah. So have I.
And I tried writing a thriller. That one I did not finish. I wrote the beginning, and I wrote the end, and the middle part was no fun. Otherwise, I write fantasy.
Yeah.
I tried a dystopian. Like, I have a work in progress that I upload on Wattpad.
Oh, yeah.
That I haven't done in like 1.5 months. But that's a dystopian. I think I will finish it, because it was quite fun.
I'd say, when we were in high school, I'd say contemporary for me, mostly. Maybe some of them can be placed into YA romance more than anything else.
Yeah.
But I would say from 20 onwards, it's been more like magical realism. So it's not, there's sort of a hint of, this is not the real world exactly, but it's not fantasy level.
Yeah. It's sort of in the Neil Gaiman
kind of
sort of
category. Which makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's never, like, it isn't creepy necessarily.
No.
It's not that. It's more like, magical realism is probably the closest I'd say. So yeah, that's pretty much the genres that I have tried, because I wouldn't say that I've actually tried writing anything within fantasy or anything like that in particular.
And then we have the follow through.
And I've spoiled this about myself already.
Yeah. Follow through is not your strong suit.
I'm terrible. But it's also like, I can also remember, especially in high school, when I would be like, is this okay? Can you read through this?
Yeah.
And you'd be like, this is great! When do I get the next one? And then nothing happened.
You didn't get the next one.
You'd get something new.
Yeah, and that was great. And I wanted the next one, and I didn't get the next one.
And that's pretty much like the story of my writing.
Yeah, yeah.
So I've just stopped sending you things. No, I'm terrible at that. It's either, like I said, most of the time it starts with me like having either a couple of sentences or like a paragraph.
Yeah.
That just sort of pops up, and I write that down. But because I have no character, no story, no idea beyond that, it sort of stops with that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. And it's also like I look at it and go, what is this? And how do I continue to write this? Because that's the thing. It's like we've said a couple of times now. It's like I get these particular sentences that are like, that's good. And
Yeah.
it's like,
yeah.
but how do I continue to write like this?
Yeah.
For it to make sense.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at follow through.
Yeah.
I think I've finished 10 like book length manuscripts.
Yeah.
Can't really say books because you know they're not published. But like I have 10 finished.
Yeah.
First drafts because I'm not very good at going back and editing.
No.
So that part I sort of lack. But
Yeah.
like
Well, that's the thing. You're like, now I finished that, and you move on to the next
I
thing.
tell the story and then I feel done. But I'm actually trying now to edit one of the books that I wrote long ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Progress.
Yeah, I guess that is
pretty much it.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're a word wizard, and I'm a storyteller.
Yeah.
That's
This is one of these things where we're like opposites.
yeah,
Essentially.
yeah.
Which is not very like. That doesn't happen a lot with us.
No.
We're not. Most of the time, we're not on a spectrum each. Like
No,
we tend to be somewhat similar.
Yeah, and even when we're sort of different, we understand.
Yeah.
And we sort of agree. Just we prefer something else.
Yeah.
But this is just
Entirely different.
yeah,
Opposite.
yeah.
That makes it interesting.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Can't be all the same all the time.
That'd be pretty boring.
Yeah. So I guess that is it.
Yeah.
Yep. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, do that. And until next time, bye.
Bye.